Hi, guys, and welcome to this very first lesson that we are doing on Greenfoot. Okay, so if you have been in my class over the last couple of years, we have done quite a lot of programming. Obviously, we did a lot of Scratch programming when you were in primary school, and then we did some Alice programming last year if you were in my class. And so this year we're going to move on to a proper programming language, and that is Java. And Greenfoot allows us to program in Java, but you'll know that I love to teach programming through gaming. You know, I love writing fun little games, and you can learn a lot from that. So that's how I like to teach programming, by writing our own little games. So hopefully you managed to get you followed my previous video and you've managed to get Java installed onto your laptop or your computer, and you have got Greenfoot installed. And I'm running Greenfoot, and you can see it's opened here in front of me. And the first thing I did was I went to up here in the top left. I went to Scenario, and I clicked on New Java Scenario, not Stride. Okay, don't pick that one. You want New Java Scenario. So I picked that, and you can see I just called mine. It's put copy there because I've already got one of this name, Grade 8 Lesson 1. So I called it Grade 8 Lesson 1. The location, I created a folder on my desktop called Greenfoot Projects. Okay, so I did that first. And now I choose that as my folder. So Greenfoot will build this project in my Greenfoot Projects folder. So that's what you want to do. Make sure that your name starts with a capital letter. So you can see I've named start with a capital letter, and the second word there's no space. Okay, so I just called it Grade 8 Lesson, no space, and each word starts with a capital letter. That's the convention in Java. Okay, so you could do that, and you should get yourself a screen that looks just like this, and you'll see the name up in the top left-hand corner. Okay, so I will show you what it's actually done. Okay, so if you go to Explorer, and if you go to your Greenfoot Projects folder, okay, you can see I've got a lot of projects in mine. You'll probably have just the one so far, the one that you've just made. That'll be in the folder you created on your desktop. And if you go into that, you'll see that Greenfoot is starting to make you some files here. Okay, so you'll see some files are starting to come out. That is Greenfoot doing all the work for you. Greenfoot's doing all the horrible work. It's doing that for you. Okay. So let me show you what's on the screen here. I'll give you a quick introduction. Okay, so on the screen, you can see we've got some menu options up at the top here. We've also got over here, this square here, that is where our game will take place here on the screen. Okay, that is our canvas or our world. Okay, they call it a world in Greenfoot. Down here, we've got some buttons. Okay, and I will explain to you what those do as we are going along. They're not too important right now. And over here, we have a speed bar. Okay, and you can see it's in the middle at the moment. And you can just leave it in the middle. That's the speed at which your game will run at. And if you leave it in the middle, it's about 60 frames a second, which is fine. Okay, so the next thing you want to notice is up top here in the top right corner. Okay, you can see we've got, this is what we call the class hierarchy here. And I will explain to you what classes are. Okay, so everything in Java gets treated as an object. Okay, and an object really comprises of two things. And I think we've probably chatted about this before in class when we were doing Alice. And those two things that an object has got is it's got properties. Okay, that's the thing that makes the object the object. Okay, so if you think of a dog, okay, think of a dog as being an object. Its properties would be how many legs it's got, how many ears it's got. Has it got a tail? What color is it? Has it got long hair? Okay, it's all the things that make the dog, okay, that differentiate it from other dogs. So the properties is the things that make it it. The second thing that an object has got is called methods. Okay, these are action things. It's things that the object can do. So in the case of our dog object, bark would be a method. Okay, so if we called that method, the dog would bark. Walk would be another one. Shake head would be another one. Okay, they are action things, things that the object can do, that the dog can physically do. Jump, that sort of thing. Okay, so those are called methods. So an object has got properties and it has got methods. And in programming, in Java, the way that we make an object is with a piece of code called a class. And you'll see here, all the classes are going to appear here that we are using. So let me show you what those classes are. Okay, this is very important. Watch what I'm doing here. Okay, if I go to help and I say Greenfoot class documentation. Okay, so I click on that. And you can see I end up on this screen here opens up. Okay, and these here are the different classes that Greenfoot comes with it. Okay, so these classes are part of Greenfoot. They're already there. And you could see that this world one at the bottom here, okay, we can see world was there, and we saw that actor was there. And there's really, of all these classes, 3 of them that we will use a lot. Okay, we'll use the world class a lot, we'll use the actor class a lot, and we'll use the Greenfoot class a lot, at least in these beginning lessons that we are going to do here. Okay, so it's really just those 3 classes that we will use. And so if we click on world, okay, so I'm going to click on world, and now world, okay, here are all the built-in methods. Remember I said to you that an object has doing things it can do, okay? And these are all the things that a world object can do. We will use this, okay, this act method. We will use that. I'll show you how to use that. Add object, okay, we will definitely be using that to place our actors into the world. Okay, we'll be using that. We will also be using this get height and this get width. And we may use this remove object. We'll see. But those are really the most important ones. Okay, so we've got act, we've got add object, we've got remove object, which is obviously the opposite of add object. That adds an object into the world, that removes the object out of the world. And then get height will tell us how high the playing area is, and get width will tell us how wide the playing area is. Okay, so I'll go back to the package. The other one that I said was going to be important was actor. Okay, so let me click on actor. And there are some important ones that we will use here. You can see that this one also has an act method. Okay, and we will learn a lot more about that because that's very important in Greenfoot. Okay, so we'll use that a lot. We will use this get rotation. Okay, that tells us what direction the actor is facing in. Get X and get Y, we will use these a lot because we can ask the actor where it is on the screen. Okay. Is at edge, that's a handy one because that tells us when the actor hits into the edge of the screen. Okay, so we will be using that method. Move, okay, that obviously will move the actor by a certain distance. So we'll definitely be using that. And we'll be using set location. That means we can move the actor to a specific place on the screen. We'll probably use set rotation because we can use that to set the heading, okay, for the actor. And we might use this turn, okay, that will make the actor turn on the screen by a certain amount. So you can see these are all action things. They make the actor do something, okay? Those are methods. Okay, so I'm going to go back to package up top here on the left. And we'll go to the Greenfoot class. Okay, so I said to you we would use that a little bit as well. So if I click on Greenfoot, okay, this is a utility class. It's really just a set of handy tools. And we are going to use this one here, get random number. Okay, so that's obvious. We can use it to throw us a random number like shaking a dice. And we are going to use this is key down. Okay, we can use that to check and see if I'm pushing a key. So if I'm driving a player around on the screen, I might be using the left and the right arrow keys. I'm going to use this method to check if I've pushed a key down. Okay, so those are sort of the important ones. I encourage you to come and have a look here. Just click on really the world, the actor, and Greenfoot, those three, and just familiarize yourself with what methods there are. That's one of the most important things is when you're programming, is what commands have you got at your fingertips. Okay, it's like vocabulary when you're learning to speak English. The more words you know, the more sentences you can put together. Okay, so let's go back to Greenfoot itself. So I'm going to show you how to put something onto the screen. Okay, so let's do that. So the first thing I'm going to do, it's going to be an actor. Okay, actors are the things that are acting out on my screen. So I'm going to come here to actor. I'm going to right click on actor and I'm going to say new subclass. Okay, and now I'm going to make, I want to put on the screen an ant. Okay, because I know in the animals here, there's an ant there. Okay, so I'm going to go, I've put ant with a capital A. Okay, must be a capital A. That is the convention in Java. Class names always start with a capital letter. Okay, I'm now going to click on the ant and I say, okay. And you can see the ant, it's not on the screen because I haven't put it there yet. All I've done is I've given myself the ability to make an ant. Okay, so I'm now going to come to the actor and I'm going to add another one. I'm going to say new subclass. Okay, and this time I'm going to make a hamburger. And I'm going to, capital H, remember, starts with a capital letter. I come to the food. Okay, and I go down here and I pick hamburger. And I say okay. So now I've created myself two actors here. Okay, and if I go and have a look in my project folder, you can see Java is writing it. Greenfoot is writing code for me in the background. Okay, I got myself an ant and a hamburger, and you can see it's added files there. And if I go into images, it's put the images in there. So Greenfoot is building my project for me. Okay, it's helping me build my project because it's doing all the grunt work. Okay, all the work that I don't like doing, it's doing it for me. Okay, so there are two ways that you can put things on the screen. Okay, first thing I could do is I could right click the ant and I can say new ant, and then I go and put an ant on the screen. Okay, and I could do the same thing. I can say another ant and I can put another ant on the screen. Or I can right click the hamburger and I can say, okay, I want a hamburger on the screen. Okay, and you can drag it around. So you can drag these things around, but I've put them on the screen. Okay. I would need to, if I wanted to, I would have to save my world. So I can right click here and I can say save the world. soon as I say save the world, then Greenfoot will write the code for me to place these things in the world. Okay, so, but I'm not going to say save the world. If I say reset, you'll see they are gone. So I'm going to show you another way, and this is the way that we would normally do it. This is how we would normally add actors into our game. Okay, we wouldn't, when you go buy a game, they don't expect you to go and put all the characters on the screen yourself. When you start the game, all the characters are on the screen already. Okay, and that's what we want to do. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to double click my world. Okay, so I'm going to double click it and the editor comes up. Okay, this is what we call an IDE, an integrated development environment. And you can see Greenfoot has written a bunch of code in here for me. Okay, don't worry too much about what's in here right now. In the next lessons, I will start explaining to you what some of this is. But just for now, let me show you how you would add some things in. Okay. So I'm a world now, right? I'm a world. And if I go over here and I click on world, these are all the things that I can do as a world. Okay. And this one here looks interesting to me. Add an object. Okay. That will add an actor onto the screen for me. So that looks like the one that I want. Okay, so let's go and get our code here inside the squiggly brackets. Okay, I just went to the end of the semicolon and entered down, make some space for myself. I say add object, bracket, bracket, semicolon. Okay, in Java, all statements, all programming statements end with a semicolon. Okay. So what do I want to add? Well, I want to add a new ant. Okay, so I say new space ant with a capital A. And now I need to give it two pieces of information. Okay, if I go back and look at the documentation, you can see add object, it's expecting three things as parameters. The object I'm going to add and the X and the Y position of where I want it. Okay, we know how X and Y works, Cartesian coordinates. So I'm going to say I want to go at, let's say, 300 for the X and let's say 500 for the Y. Okay, so I'm going to put an ant at that position. I'm also going to make my screen a little bit bigger. Okay, I want it to be 800 by 600 pixels. Okay, let's put another ant in. Okay, so I'm going to say add object. Okay, and remember it's expecting three things. What must I add? Well, I want a new ant. Okay, and where do I want this one? Okay, well, I want this one at, let's say, 150, 350. Okay, so I've got a different X and a Y. Let's put a hamburger in. Okay, so I'm going to say add object, bracket, bracket, semicolon. Okay, and you can see I'm inside the squiggly bracket here. What must I add? Well, I'm going to put a new, and I look over here, hamburger. Okay, new hamburger. Where do I want that? Well, I want that to be at 450, let's say 200. Okay, so an X of 450 and a Y of 200. Then I'm going to come up top here. Okay, I'm going to come up here where it says compile. So I'm going to say compile. So that takes my nice English program, okay, my nice English program here that I can quite easily read, human readable, and it converts it into machine language. Okay, a computer doesn't like English. It wants ones and zeros. So compiling changes it into machine code for me. And if I come back to my screen, you can see there are my ants and there's my hamburger. Okay, if I move these ants somewhere else and the hamburger, when I reset my screen, they'll always go back to whatever coordinates they were told to go to. Okay, in the program, we told it exactly what coordinates to go to. And 0, 0, okay, unlike Scratch, remember Scratch, 0, 0 was in the middle of the screen. Java's not like that. Greenfoot's not like that. 0, 0 is the top left corner. Okay, so we've covered quite a bit already here. See if you can maybe make yourself some more actors, different kinds of actors, and just place them around the screen. Just see if you can go into your programming language here. Okay, like I said, I'm in my world over here, the world, because that's where the actors will be placed. And I just used the add object method to place them at these locations on the screen. And then I hit compile, and then I go back to my screen, and here's my game starting up here. So give that a go. I hope you have fun with this, and I'll see you in the next lesson.